You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn connects you with experts from all over the world to help you take charge of your career, your business, and your life. Rap along with us. Visit drjacalyn.com to learn how to become a guest or a sponsor. And now, the doctor is in.
It's all about dating. Thank you so much for being here today. We are live streaming on social media as well as Business Talk Radio. I am your host and executive producer, Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. I am a certified life, career, yoga, and meditation coach. And we couldn't do this show. I say it every week, but it's so true. If my co-host, Lisa Manyoky, wasn't here. Welcome, Lisa.
Hey, hello.
Hello. This is such a great show, isn't it? We have wonderful people and so much fun.
Always. So funny. So you say the doctor's in. I feel like I need a title.
You can have one.
I have to come up with a title.
Well, something to do with presence intelligence.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to have to give that some thought.
I think you should. By the way, why don't you share with our audience exactly what it is that you do? Because it really is in alignment with dating and how you show up.
Oh, yeah. In dating, absolutely. You know, when you want to meet somebody, the only way you can meet somebody who really does suit you is if you know who you are and you project that with integrity. So I know I said last week, if you go to a masquerade party and you go as a gangster or a villain or a pirate, well, you can only do that for a night or two and it's a lot of fun. But if you had to do that indefinitely, that would become stressful and certainly, well, no integrity there, right? So this is a way for you to figure out who you are on the inside and make sure that aligns with what you project on the outside. So you find the people you're looking for and the people you're looking for can find you.
Very well said. I love it. And I love your smile. You're all full of energy today. What's going on? You got some exciting things? You met somebody?
No. I think the pace, the fact that the life is starting to pick up is wonderful. You know, I mean, like even the flowers are starting to poke through the grass. I'll take it. I miss people and I love people. So the fact that things are starting to feel a little more fresh and a little more available than they had for the last year, you know, don't you think?
I definitely think so. And, I'm here on the water, so we have a great view. And I just want people to know that the birds, the seagulls, the pigeons, they didn't leave. Everybody thinks they fly south. No, they're still here. So I'm excited to see, that I get to see the green coming back. And of course, tomorrow's my birthday, so I'm excited about that.
I was going to suggest singing to you. You know, if I sang to you, you'd cry.
Well, it'll bring me joy to bring out our guest because he's helping so many people. And I think his phone is going to be ringing off the hook. His email's going to be blowing up. Let's welcome Mike Goldstein from LA. Nice to see you. Easy dating coach.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure.
Easy. We'll take that. Oh my goodness.
So Mike,
try.
Yeah. So how did you get started as a dating coach?
So Dr. Jacalyn, I used to suck at this stuff. So I was in my 20s and I fell in love with this wonderful woman. And what happened was she ended up cheating on me with one of my close friends. So then I was literally crying my eyes out for 3 months straight. And finally, I picked myself up and I actually picked up a copy of John Gray, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. And I quickly realized I didn't understand women at all. And the reason she cheated on me was because I didn't understand women. So I needed to go work on that. So I spent a lot of time researching everything about women, dating, relationships, online dating. And finally, that led me to getting decent at this stuff, so much so that my friends noticed. And I had a friend that was a 30-year-old virgin, never had a girlfriend. He's like, Mike, help me. So I came up with this online dating methodology. I taught him. got him into a relationship. He lost his virginity. Actually, a few years ago, he got married. And then I just kept repeating that, and I got 7 people married. And then that got me on the Today Show because I was getting 83% of people into relationships. And then that got me partnered with Match, OkCupid, and eHarmony, where they're like, no one is this successful using our sites. What the heck are you doing? I said, great, I'll tell you, but you got to share some data with me. So now everything I do online is all backed by their analytics, millions of data points, and it just reaffirmed my process for online dating. And we're still getting a lot of people into relationships.
Congratulations. That's so exciting. Isn't it, Lisa?
I think so. So what do you do that's different from anybody else's services or from the online dating world?
Yeah, I mean, that's such a loaded question, but let me give you like a high level thing. My system is called 50-12-1. And so once we build out a process for online dating, then we message, let's say 50 men, for example. So let's say Lisa's a client. Lisa, we'd message 50 guys saying, hey, do you want to go on a date with me? And from the 50, we expect about 12 of them to say, yeah, Lisa, I do want to go on a date with you. And then from the 12, we pick one. And then we repeat this 6 to 8 times. And usually we find a good match for Lisa with that effort.
Wow, Lisa, did you hear that?
I think I need to be a client.
Yes, I was just thinking that.
But are you only working locally or are you working all over the country?
I'm all over the world, actually.
Ooh, even better.
I try to do mostly America, but here and there we get some folks in Europe and Australia, and any place that will speak English to me, we'll give it a go.
So you're working with men and women then?
All my marketing is towards women, but I started my career exclusively with men, so I do work with both.
Okay. There was a book also called Men Are Like Waffles and Women Are Like Spaghetti. Have you seen that one?
No, that sounds great, though.
That one is hilarious because it compares men saying that you have these pieces of life. They're like a waffle. They're compartments. And that there are a couple of, they don't touch either. So there's the dude square, there's the sports square, there's the food square. And then there's a couple squares that have nothing in them. They just want to be there just because, but none of them touch. Whereas women, the family and the boyfriend and the work, and it's all like a plate of spaghetti where one strand leads to the other. That's another really cool book to read. And it was very enlightening. You might want to add that to your recommended reading list for your clients.
Yeah, that one sounds good. And it's so accurate. Like,
yeah,
men compartmentalize and women, like, everything's connected 100%.
Yeah. What do you mean you don't want to do anything? You want to be alone in that room by yourself. What do you mean? It's just the way it is.
Yeah. Men have this superpower that, like, we literally turn off one side of our brain. So when we're staring at the TV and we had a stressful day, an hour later, all of a sudden our stress is gone because we literally just like turned it off. And women are like, what? You can turn it off? How do you do that? I want to do that.
No.
So it's nice.
I know. Well,
it is. Mike, I watched one of your YouTube videos and where you were talking about men are looking for sex and women are looking for love. I hope I didn't get that. Can you expand upon that?
So it's so men are looking for sex and find love, where women are looking for love and find sex. So this isn't totally universal, but what we see happen a lot is, obviously a lot of women are looking for a relationship and then they unfortunately stumble upon just having sex, a guy that just wants to have sex. And then men are like, ooh, beautiful woman, like, I'd like to have sex. And then he's like, wait a second, this woman's amazing. I'd like to have sex with her indefinitely and also get to know her. And she's a great woman. I'd like to be with her.
There we go. Sorry, a little problem on the production here. But yes, so I think that's really fascinating. And I love the fact that we have you on here. You're the first male guest that we've had. So it's interesting to get another perspective. So if a woman is going out on a date, I'm just thinking back to when I was dating, which was a long time ago, but you want a friend, right? Don't you want to have a friend too?
What do you mean? Like, if Say
Like, in
that
other
again?
words, if you go out on a date, don't you want to be friends with the person? You want to have a friendship with them too, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, in an ideal world, we unfortunately, like, we stink at this, but in an ideal world, we build a friendship and then we get to the sex. But instead, what a lot of us are doing is, like, somewhere between date 3 and date 7, 8, we're having sex, and then we're getting to know the person. And now we've got all these hormones built in and all these emotions and dopamine and all these things that are, like, not allowing us to fully think straight about, is this person capable of being my partner forever?
Yeah, I told one guy that I subscribed to the 3-date rule, and he was really excited. But then I told him that my dates were 6 months apart. I was joking, but I was just being fresh because he was kind of icky. And I said, I'll fix you, Buster. He's like, oh, you really do? I went, oh, yeah, but didn't I tell you I'm 6 months apart? He went, oh, I see. Which, he got the point, but it was pretty funny.
Was that the end of that?
That is funny.
It was the end of that. Absolutely. Sure.
Yeah. Well, you know what I'm really interested in finding out your perspectives on. So many of us who are single have been in a lockdown. And, I said this to my mother just the other day. I said, Mom, when I come back into the world, I'm coming out as a 10. I'm having everything. Everything's good. Like, I'm going to be in shape, well-dressed, face taken care of, etc. Like, that's how I'm coming back into the world. But it's also about, how do you emotionally come back out so that you can feel open to connecting with someone when you've been in a lockdown? Lisa, you're giving me a strange look. What does that mean?
No, they're not. No, I get it. I mean, it's been, this last year, dating has been very different because people have had to rely on video, and, video shows a little bit, and it actually can give you a insight into somebody's world, their background, which is information you don't typically get when you meet at a bar or a restaurant. So it gives different information. It's just not the same. I mean, I think we all miss people.
Yes. Yeah, I think so. So, Mike, as a coach, when you think about how everyone's been isolated for the most part, and now we're so anxious to connect and meet with someone, but yet at the same time, there's, can I get the virus? I don't know. I still think there's a lot of unanswered questions that put some insecurity in everybody's mind. Am I right on this, Mike?
I mean, you're totally right. Like, people are scared. The interesting stat I saw is, I think it came from Match.com or Hinge. I can't remember, but IAC Group anyway. They all own all these companies. Anyway, that folks over 50% right now are saying they prefer doing the first date online. So even when we do get out of this, there's going to be a lot of people still asking for that first Zoom date. Not because of trepidation, but just of the convenience of it. It's like, I don't have to put on pants or a dress or anything nice down there. Just got to have a nice top on and rock and roll. I can be on a date, and I just walked a few feet to get here. So I think we're going to see some people still stay with the online, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
No, I do. I've been asked, hey, you want to meet for a drink? And over text. I'm like, you know what? I'd like to talk on the phone first. And some guys have given me a hard time. Why don't you have a sense of adventure? And I'm thinking, there are only so many hours in a day and so many hours in a week. I don't want to waste a night to go with somebody who I can't even have a single simple phone conversation with in advance. So Zoom is just a step further along the information train, where you get to see some background and some information as well beyond a phone call. But I think it's perfectly fine to vet somebody digitally or by phone before you're going to take the time to go out and sit across the table from someone and say, nope, not going to happen.
I totally agree, Lisa. And, it's an economics issue, right? It's a supply and demand. Lisa's clearly very desirable, so she's got a lot of suitors. And because she's got a lot of suitors, she really needs to optimize her time. So if she's got 10 options, she can't go on 10 dates. It's just not possible. So she's got to narrow it down so she can maybe do, 10 phone calls that are 15 minutes long. She can find time for that. And then from those good phone calls, then you can go to a date. So it's just a funnel system of getting her to her man at the bottom.
I'm going to tell them that Mike Goldstein said.
Please.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're going to like it too, because the poor guy is going to spend, anywhere from $20 to $100+ on your drinks.
Oh,
and you don't even like each other.
Yes, yes.
Your money. Oh my goodness,
money.
Better.
We need to take a commercial break, folks. So we'll come back with this really fascinating conversation. Stay with us here. Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn presents It's All About Dating with our co-host, Lisa Manyoky, and our guest, easy dating coach, Mike Goldstein. We'll be right back.
The world of healthcare is benefiting us in many ways, but the risk of becoming a victim to an airborne infection is increasing at a fast pace too. There are threats from viruses, allergic pollen, and chemicals which cause you loss of health, income, business, mental health, family and friends. All are at stake. One solution to this threat are the BV Air Sanitation Placide-based systems. When you call our team on 0208 104 3253, you find out about the amazing protection available. Protection that uses certified Battlefield, tested, standard and customized air disinfection systems for your personal and business use. Each system uses a filterless technology known as Placide, which attacks all airborne particles with microlighting to destroy and eliminate viruses and other harmful particles in your office, transport and home. You also benefit from extra bonuses such as low running and maintenance costs, no regular filter and part changes. You get to work with our trained experts and professional staff and be made aware of the latest in airborne protection and disinfection strategy. Keep yourself healthy by working with our trained experts and Placide virus killing systems, which keep you safe from airborne viruses. BV Air Sanitation Limited. We save lives, save businesses, and prevent infection. Schedule your free consultancy call and virus protection checklist. Call 0208 104 3253 or connect to us on www.bvbuster.com.
I don't think men are superficial idiots, that their brains are wired to be visual. You're told I give great advice.
Nike Just Do It for exercise, I think really applies to sex too.
I've coached hundreds of men and women.
So I disagree with her where she's like, put it all out there on the first date. You know, an open book is not sexy.
Exactly.
You know.
Do you have relationship questions? Chances are one of my clients or myself or my friends have gone through the same thing, and I already made a video about it. So I invite you to check out my YouTube channel, Donna Barnes. I've made hundreds of advice videos based on real-life experiences so that you can make better choices.
In my upcoming Breakup Recovery Action Plan, there's going to be checklists and quizzes.
Best information that I've ever experienced or acquired. If you're stuck and can't move forward or let go, my action plan is built to help you. Subscribe to my channel. I'll help you have better relationships.
You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Hello and welcome back to Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn. It's all about dating. My co-host Lisa Manyoky is here and easy dating coach Mike Goldstein. Welcome back. I just want to say hi to Ben Chai, to Gail Burla, Muhammad Allah, and Eduardo. I'm sorry if I'm not saying your names right. Securious. Thank you for watching. We appreciate it. So over to you, Lisa.
Gail Burla is my longtime buddy. She is famous for making awesome Jell-O shots.
Wow.
Whenever we have a party, she makes a custom Jell-O shot that's appropriately themed, and she's a really good person. So hello, Gail.
Hello, Gail. What about Jell-O shots before a date? Anyone have comments on this?
Oh my gosh. What kind of date is that?
It's a mess. It's a messy date. Anyway, I want to go back to Mike and some of the work that you're doing with these online platforms. That sounds really interesting. So is there some type of process that you use now today that maybe is different than what you were doing when you're working with the men and the process you had then? You mentioned the 50, the 12, and the 1, but how does that align with the online dating services?
Yeah, it's been a really simple pivot. Instead of asking 50 men on a date, we're just asking 50 men on a Zoom date. So it's been a really simple pivot. I got to tell you, though, although COVID has been awful for a lot of us, and including myself, and I just hate it, but for the romance, this has been my best year ever at getting people together, because I didn't understand it at first, but I quickly realized it's because we're having tougher discussions quicker. So when you do decide to go meet in person, hey, are you vaccinated? Hey, are we wearing a mask? So it's almost like when sex comes up and you're like, hey, are we wearing a condom? Do you have an STD? Like all these questions that come up later that are a little uncomfortable, we're having them all up front. And it's, what's your political stance? What's your mask stance? So we're getting these tough discussions to see if we're aligned a lot quicker. So I'm finding that people can filter faster. So we're not going on, as Lisa hates it, going on dates that are a waste of time. So we're getting those up front out of the way. We're getting on the right dates faster. And then when we are on good dates, we're asking questions to really see that we're aligned. So just this past year, I've gotten 4 people engaged, which is the most I've had in a year. And it's a great time to date right now.
But you're not matchmaking, right? You're just coaching them through the process, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm known for my online process. So I actually, I'm on Zoom and I log into their Match account with them and we're filling it out together. I show them how to message. I help them pick who they're going to pick. So I'm not a matchmaker at all, but I am an online dating expert that does the work with them.
Okay, so
I love that.
when you have somebody, you're looking in their Match account, what criteria would you use for any individual to say, okay, that person, not that one? What are you evaluating?
Well, I first need to allow my client to make the initial idea of what they like, because I, at that point, don't fully know them yet. But as I'm getting to know them, I'm going to really guide them. But if they do pick, let's say, here's 10 that I like, Mike, and we'll look at them, I'm then going to look for red flags as to make sure they're actually looking for a relationship and they're serious about dating, which comes from the amount of content they put on Match.com. Like if they write 2 sentences, how serious are they? If they have some, good pictures, some good content, some lengthy content where there's some effort, that's good. Then a lot of my clients are business professionals. So do they match up education-wise? Do they match up job-wise? Where do they live? What part of the country? Is it a neighborhood that's similar to theirs in terms of affluence? Because usually we're finding people, date pretty close to where they are from an affluent standpoint, from an education standpoint. A lot of my women are very sophisticated. So if they have to date a blue collar person, what are they going to talk about? It might just not work. So just making sure things line up and they're not picking just based on pictures. Is that helpful?
It is. I can tell you about the education thing now. I have a real thing with poor grammar. I don't care if somebody is blue collar and is an excellent electrician or trades professional. But if I hear, I seen so-and-so and the demdits, it drives me up a wall. And a friend of mine said, you're not going to exclude somebody just because his grammar isn't sound. And I went, I think
that's a yes.
By
the way, I just want to acknowledge I think it's Vry Sage, great topic, speaker, and host. Thank you so much for watching our show. We really appreciate it. Yeah, that's great. We love having people make comments and post things on social media. So that's really wonderful. One thing I'm wondering about profiles, we're talking about this. So I've been on Match.com, not recently, but many times over the course of my life. And why is it that if a guy puts up pictures, okay, there's one picture that's not a full shot, like it's a headshot, and maybe it's with a baseball cap that's backwards, by the way, with the hat backwards, that's a definite no for me. And then the rest of the pictures are a dog, it's a sunset. It's I really don't get that. And That's Mitchell Chai. Hi, thanks for watching. Okay, that's a friend of mine, friend of Al's, and probably a friend of yours. Anyway, sorry about that. What's the reason for that?
Let's just call it what it is. He doesn't know what he's doing, or he's not that serious. He needs a coach.
Sunglasses. Why have 7 pictures with sunglasses? There's so much information that eyes give. No, men and women should not hide their eyes in every picture with a pair of dark glasses, right?
100%. Probably some information that'll be useful. This comes from the data scientists over at eHarmony who looked at millions of data points. This is this is the biggest game changer for profile pictures to get you more messages by far across all platforms. So your face should make up 8 to 15% of the surface area of the whole photo. So you don't want to be too far or too close to the camera. There's a ton of coaches out there that are telling you need a headshot where you're very close to the camera. It's actually wildly wrong. The data shows that you actually get way less messages. So you really want to be a decent distance from the camera. So you only make up 8 to 15% of the surface area of the photo. Does that make sense?
Why though? What's the reason?
See, that's the interesting thing about data is it tells you the answer, but you don't necessarily know the why always. But if I had to guess, when you get too close to the camera, like I have this webinar that I show this. I have Keira Knightley, who's obviously a model and gorgeous, but she's very close to the camera in this one photo, and she's got a million pimples. So even Keira Knightley up close doesn't look good. So I think that's the thing. Like you want to be a good distance so we're not seeing the wrinkles or whatever else is happening. You know, if I get close, you're going to see all my gray hair, but from back here, you can't even tell. Like that's part of it.
Okay.
Well, I kind of agree with that because you see, like you're closer to your computer than I am. See, I'm further back because I feel like when I am close, then it's all about this and everyone's looking at every piece of whatever. So I don't know. I kind of agree with that.
And yet, what about a full body shot, Mike? Isn't that a good idea?
Yeah, that's good. The only variable that you always got to watch out for is the face needs to be 8 to 15%. So if you got a body shot where you're a good distance from the camera, that's perfect. Absolutely.
Yeah, I like seeing posture. And I've said, I was accused of being superficial. I said, no. I get information about how a person, like I do this for a living. So I get information for how a person stands and what they're doing with their feet. Of course, it's not fixed. That might have been a good photograph or a bad one, but the way someone carries him or herself tells me something, and I want to see it. It doesn't have to, I don't care if you have a few extra pounds here and there. I mean, I'm 58. Gravity wins. But I do like to encourage people to put a full body shot or at least show more of you than just your face in every picture.
I mean, you're totally spot on. What we are built to do as men and women is, Lisa, if you're looking at a man, you subconsciously go, can he protect me? And the more you feel that he can protect you, the more you want to choose him, at least physically. And the same thing with a man. He goes, is she going to live for a while? Could she reproduce? Does she have the body that she's healthy? We both do it as men and women. We want a healthy person that's going to live for a long time and makes us feel excited about them. Does that make sense?
Now, do those priorities change as people get older? Because I can say right now, the baby ship sailed.
I'm not having a baby. I'm just letting you know that's off the table.
Yeah, so it's not about baby, right? So like if I have a 60-year-old male client, he's looking at a woman and going, is she going to die in 10 years or does she look healthy? And that's what it is. Like, what's her figure telling me as to her health? Because we're all choosing, we want really healthy people that we can spend some time with.
I like to see a picture of someone's hands. Hands are very important to me because those hands are what's going to be touching me. And I want to make sure that they look nice and I like them.
No dirt under the fingernails?
No, and I like a certain type of hand. I don't know how to explain it, but I always check out a guy's hands.
So you want the man that's going to get the mani-pedi, right?
I like like strong hands, maybe so I feel protected and safe. I like a certain thickness across this part of the hand. I don't know.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Is this a good hand? Is that good?
Yeah, that's a good hand. That is a good hand.
All right.
Are you tall?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm 6 feet.
You have long fingers. I mean,
do I? No, it's probably just deception because I'm bringing it closer to the camera and they look big.
Okay.
So now I bring it back here. It's not as big.
They still look kind of long.
That is the funny thing about Zoom is that we never see anyone stand up. And if you've never met a person in person, you don't even really know what they look like. You just have this just from here to here, right?
Everybody's tall on Zoom.
Yes. Very true.
Isn't that true?
It is true.
Drummer in a band. Who cares?
Hey, guess what? It's that time again. What time is it? It's time to take a commercial break.
Okay.
So we'll be right back. Stay with us here on Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn. It's all about dating. And thank you, Mitchell. We appreciate you.
When all my broken sneakers started to pile up in the wardrobe, I realized that we have a problem. Sneakers are made from plastics, and plastic is not mendable. My name is Philip, and I'm one of the founders of Our Choice Fashion. How many times did this happen to you? How can eco sneakers save the world when they break after only a few months and we have to buy pair after pair that breaks? We are here to give you the solution, a choice for truly sustainable fashion in the world's first circular sneakers. On average, we all buy 3 pairs of sneakers each and every year. This adds up to 25 billion sneakers per year, of which most end up in landfills. This adds up to 350 million tons of CO2 emissions, the same amount as for the country of Italy or the state of California. So we started to develop a product that would have all the old-fashioned qualities. It is mendable, it has a classic design, and it has a natural comfort. Because we chose the best designer there is, Mother Nature. The sneakers get more and more comfortable the more you wear them. Made from vegetable tan leather and natural latex from the rubber tree, the sneakers are both sustainable and comfortable. These sneakers are made from pure raw materials that are both fully biodegradable and fully recyclable. The best thing here really is that when your sneakers need an upgrade, you just send them right back to us using the same bag that you got them delivered in. We then resole your sneakers, put on a fresh pair of laces, and give them a nice new polish. This means that you can wear your sneakers for many years to come. Our sneakers are more than sneakers. They are a circular function, and we developed a smart pull for you to step into your sneakers without stepping down the heel. This means that you get a truly sustainable grip. We've got a fully circular business model, and that's why we'll only produce sneakers on your demand. Book your product now and get that sustainable grip at a discount. We've been on this amazing journey for 2 years, and now we're inviting you to also make a choice for truly sustainable fashion. Try the world's first circular sneakers, 100% plastic-free, and I can promise you that our choice will be your companion for many years to come.
You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Welcome back. It's Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn. It's all about dating. And who's with me today? Lisa Manyoky. Hi, Lisa. And easy dating coach, Mike Goldstein. I love that. Easy dating coach. And we're having some easy fun here, aren't we?
Oh, yeah.
So, Mike, tell us about the process that you work. So somebody approaches you and said, Mike, I'm really lonely. I want to meet somebody. Then what? What happens next?
So they would sign up for a 15-minute phone call. So they book a time on my calendar. They pick a 15-minute time. We chat to make sure that I can help them with what they need help with. And then if it looks like we can help them, then we set up an hour-and-a-half Zoom call based on our schedules. And then at the end of the hour-and-a-half call, if we feel we can progress them, then we would sign up for a 6-month coaching program. At the highest level, it's with both myself and Helena Hart, another coach, and you'd meet with one of us each week. You'd meet with me first week, Helena second week, and this would just keep flip-flopping for 24 sessions over 6 months. Or if you just want to work with me, you'd meet with me once every other week for a total of 12 sessions. What we find is most of our clients, if they're single, we're going to get them into a relationship by month 3 or 4. And then throughout the process, we're going to teach them how men work, how to have sexy boundaries, how to have better communication skills, better conflict resolution skills. And then at 6 months, we'll sail them off into the sunset in a happy and healthy relationship.
So what are those boundaries you're talking about?
It's in regards to everything. I have 36 different items that we document as to what your boundaries are. So like an example would be how often you see each other, how often someone texts or calls you on the phone, how often you go on dates, how often you have quality time, how much alone time you have, boundaries around having the opposite sex friends or how you hang out with them. Is someone allowed to like flirt and touch an arm while you're in a relationship? When you have sex, when someone commits to a relationship. I mean, the boundaries go on, and just making sure you're aligned. And if you're not aligned, how to communicate that in a fun way. So it's not chastising someone for being different, but having fun and finding what the boundary is going to be for the team, for the relationship.
Mike, I love that. And you actually have a free gift for our viewers and listeners, the 36 questions to fall in love, and they can go to your website, and we'll get to that in a minute. So some of the things that you said, I thought were very interesting, because some of them have kind of been deal breakers for me in past relationships because we never discussed it. So it's going back to what you said before about getting everything out in the open in the beginning. And I think that's a great process.
Yeah, it's so vital. We don't do this. I don't even do this for myself sometimes, where I document what my boundaries are. So what ends up happening, right, is like what I talked about before. In date 3 to 8, we have sex. And then by date 15, a boundary comes up that doesn't feel good to us. But we're like, I really like this person and I love having sex with them. And so then we put ourselves on the back burner, and we kind of push the boundary aside. We're like, well, it's fine. Everything else is working out. But no, it's not fine. And then it builds up, and then another boundary gets crossed, and then another one. And all of a sudden, we look up a few years later, and we're like, this relationship doesn't feel good to me. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure how it got here. It's because you didn't look after yourself throughout the whole process. So it's vital that we document these boundaries before we get into a relationship. Then we get into it. Hopefully they document their boundaries. And then as a team, we come together and build our boundaries. And now we're a team. And we're not trying to just poke at each other and see what's possible. But we have a system in place to keep us happy.
You know, I used to write for a relationship coaching school, and the training for singles, I called it the lust cocktail, which If you drink it too fast, meaning have sex too soon, you get a really bad hangover because all those chemicals are in the works and you're like, oh my goodness gracious, this person is wonderful. But you can become bonded physically to somebody who is terribly wrong for you. And then you're saying, oh my gosh, now what do I do? You know, I've been in a relationship with this guy or whomever woman, and you've got a real mess on your hands. So I had always written to caution people from don't drink the cocktail too soon or else you can really get a seriously bad headache, right? In more ways than one.
That is true.
Spot on.
Spot on. By the way, I want to say hello to Fraser Ramsey. Thank you for watching. So, Mike, how would you respond to that?
I mean, very simply, like Lisa's right. If you're really looking for your partner, let's keep as many variables out of the equation as possible. Like, there's just so much to figure out on whether you guys really fit. Like, why throw in the confusion that gets caused by all the emotions? And don't get me wrong, it's tough. Like, when we find someone we like, so maybe it's been a year, maybe it's been 2 years, maybe it's been 10 years, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, I found a person, and all you want to do is jump them. And so it's hard, I get it.
But you know what's really good? When somebody like you is doing the vetting, it's so much easier to delegate. Listen, I can be the bad guy at a minimum. You know, here, my coach says, you're actually helping somebody explore their own boundaries because sometimes people don't even know what they are. So you have this really exhaustive list that's really, really important. So, I mean, I think just the benefit alone of having you in the mix to help moderate the process is super.
I agree. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And, you know, Mike, what I'd like to know is, so let's say I'm working with you and I tell you that, you know, we're going through the process vetting and I go out with someone and I really like them. And what I'm sharing with you, you're saying to yourself, you know what, there's some red flags there. She's not seeing it because she's all attracted to him. And do you intervene then and say, listen, I know you're going to do whatever you're going to do, but I highly suggest that we keep looking?
Well, it's going to be a team effort. I'm going to present what I see and I want to see how they feel. So like, it's going to be simple. Let's say the guy is not taking her on dates or not making her feel, he's not calling her. He only wants to go on a date once a week and he doesn't text her or call her. I'm going to be like, we talked about this earlier, right? You're a queen and you deserve to be treated a certain way, right? And the reason you hired me is you were like, we're going to go find a king so that up here we can play together. When you imagined your king, did he want to call you? Did he want to text you? Did he want to take you on dates? And then she can answer that. She's like, yeah, I do want to be taken on dates. I said, great. This guy, he's phenomenal, right? Like, great job. He's good looking. He's got all the qualities. He's a great guy. But you're evaluating the man, but you're not evaluating the relationship. Is the relationship at the level of the king that you want? And if she says, no, it's not, then, you know, she's got her own answer. But if she does decide to have this mediocre relationship, frankly, that's not something I want to be involved in. Like, I would give her a chance, but if she's going to stay down a path that is clearly wrong, like, we'd probably eventually have to sever ties. But I'm just going to present. And at this point, the way I present, most of the women realize it. They see it clear as day, and they're going to be out too. So it's very rare when we don't agree.
And then do you help them extract themselves from that relationship or rapport?
Yeah, I mean, it's usually pretty simple. These things usually don't get that far. You know, we're on date 2, date 8, you know, a quick phone call, a quick in person. Hey, we're not a match. I wish you well. And that's it. Part of my process is all about being efficient and not wasting time. So we just got to keep it moving. Like, if it's right, cool, let's go. If it's not, next. And that's it.
And no apology. I mean, that's dealer's choice is what I say. I get to choose, you know? So what about the chemistry thing? I mean, we've had other guests on before who have said, even if there's not chemistry right away, it can grow. What has been your experience with your clientele?
Yeah, I think those coaches are spot on. I had this client, Isabella, who we sent a message asking a guy out, and she gets on the first date, Lisa, and she goes, oh, man, I'm not sexually attracted to this guy at all. I said, okay, on a 0 to 10 scale, what would you rank him on physical attractiveness? 4 out of 10. I said, okay. On a 0 to 10 on conversation, how's the conversation? She goes, it was like a 10. I really enjoyed it. I said, all right, would you go on a second date with him? She's like, I guess. I'm like, okay. Second date, third date. So then we're at like fourth date. I'm like, so what are you going to do? Like we've gotten here. Are you going to go on a fifth date? She's like, yeah, the conversation is just great. I guess I'll give it a go. And so the guy she was dating was this college professor, written 20 books, like really nerdy, introverted, didn't have social skills. So finally on date 8, she calls me up. I couldn't believe this. She goes, Mike, Nick is the sexiest man alive. I'm like, what? She goes, yeah, he kissed me, and I want him so badly. I'm like, all right. So then fast forward, probably about 3-4 years ago, I went to their wedding, and I'm in the receiving line. I've never met Nick. And I get up there, doesn't say a word to me. He just grabs me, gives me the biggest bear hug, and he goes, Mike, thank you for finding me my wife.
Oh, that's nice.
That's got to make you feel so good.
It was pretty cool.
It's a beautiful thing that you're doing. I love it. We have to take our last commercial break. We'll be right back. And I want to talk about the free gift you have for our audience. So let's start with that when we come back.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Zane Carson Caruth, and I'm the author of this book, The World's First Tooth Fairy Ever.
Reading is magic. Studies have shown that reading to your children lays the foundation for greater success in life. Reading helps develop language and vocabulary skills. It helps improve memory, and it encourages curiosity and inspires creativity. The benefits are immeasurable, and as a parent, you'll benefit too. In only 10 or 15 minutes a day, you'll be creating more memories and a bonding experience that will last for years to come. So take time to read to your children. Read them books about things that engage and interest them. Tales of fairies and magic fascinate children, and as everyone knows, the Tooth Fairy is at the top of the list. If your child loves magic, wands, adventure, and what child doesn't, you'll love reading them books from the trademarked series, The World's First Tooth Fairy Ever. Follow along as Bella, the world's first tooth fairy, accidentally starts the tooth fairy tradition. Learn the tricks of being a professional tooth fairy in the book, Bella Starts a Tooth Fairy School. Your child's imagination will soar as you read the adventures of Bella and her magic wand. These wonderful books are available at worldsfirsttoothfairy.com and at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Walmart.
Located at 121 Haddon Avenue in Westmont, New Jersey, is Margie Cedrone, artisan jeweler. Margie's been in business for more than 30 years. She works with her clients to create custom pieces of jewelry to reflect their personality and help them make their own bold statement. Starting in the renowned Jewelers Row in Center City, Philadelphia in 1988, Margie works directly with her clients to develop one-of-a-kind pieces such as necklaces, engagement rings, wedding bands, unique watches and tennis bracelets, as well as a myriad of rings and earrings for everyone in your family. She also has worked directly with Dr. Jacalyn over the years, creating unique pieces of jewelry to reflect her personality. She does pearl stringing and repairs on site at 121 Haddon Avenue. Call or text Margie at 215-384-7155. Margie Cedrone Jewelry is open by appointment only. Make your own bold statement.
You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Welcome back to Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn. It's all about dating. That is a lot of hairstyles in 7 months, isn't it? I'm looking, it's like I got brown hair, I got long hair, I got short hair. It's 7 months, I've had a lot of hairstyles. Anyway, welcome back, Lisa and Easy Dating Coach Mike Goldstein. I just love that. Mike, tell us about the special gift that you have with the 36 questions.
Yes, I love this gift. A scientist, I think about 10 years ago or so, came up with this hypothesis that if we ask 36 questions in order with intensity increasing, can folks fall in love? And he actually found out that strangers that ask these 36 questions can actually fall in love. It doesn't happen every time, but what I've found is if you do this on date 2 through date 5, it's a lot of fun and you really get to know this person. And instead of us kind of having this willy-nilly dating process where we just kind of have fun and hope it's our partner, this system really gets us to know the intricacies of this person. So I want to give this to you for free. I want you to try it out. Ask these questions on dates. Set up a date just to do these 36 questions. And it'll be a lot more strategic in terms of figuring out if this person makes sense for you. And you'll have a lot of fun. It's a blast. So enjoy.
And Mike, for people who are listening on the radio, how do they get that document?
That is a great question.
So it looks like they can go to your website, which is Easy Dating. That's EasyDating coach.com / wait for it, 36, the number 36 dash questions dash the letter TO dash fall, FALL dash IN dash LOVE. So it's 36 questions to fall in love with dashes in between. Or you can just go to the website. How about that? Go to EasyDatingCoach.com and you'll get the information there.
Yeah, that seems difficult. Just go to EasyDatingCoach.com. We're trying to be easy, and there's a free gifts link. There's a lot of options in there. Go get your free gifts.
Yeah, please get started now because we're all going to be coming out very soon, right? Within the next couple of months, hopefully. Yeah. Mike, so we have a few minutes left. Let's just talk about, again, what the process is. I know you hit on it a little bit before, but I want to make sure people are really clear on when to contact you, how to contact you, and what to expect after they do contact you.
Yeah, I mean, if you have your life in order where you're like, work's good, family, friends, good, everything's good, I'm happy, I just want someone to sit up here and be in a relationship with that I can't seem to get, that would be a good person to reach out to me. And I literally have the highest success rate in the entire country. Out of all the coaches, all the matchmakers, I get 83% of folks into a relationship, which no one is able to surpass. So I will walk you through the process that I've done over and over again for folks to get into a relationship. So we'll do that. Or if you happen to be in a relationship and maybe it's gotten a little stale or it's not at the level you want, but you want to stay with this person and you've got everything else in order, that person I also can take from a mediocre relationship and make it great. So you can go on my website and book a 15-minute call with me, and we can start the process to make sure I can help you.
Wow, with an 83% performance rate, that's incredible. I don't know why people are not picking up their phone right now. So please go to the website. Please email Mike because he's going to help you find your king or your queen.
Yes.
You get busy, Mike.
You better take a couple hours for yourself because you're going to be.
Jacalyn's prolific with spreading the word. So saddle up, buddy. I mean,
I think it's, and you know what? I liked what you said earlier because it makes a lot of sense. Do the first date on Zoom, maybe a second date on Zoom, and then you really get to see, because you can still tell if there's chemistry, I think, over Zoom. Don't you think?
You absolutely can. If there's kind of that like banter or that energy that you're happy with,
Yes,
it's a good sign.
Some people think that Zoom is actually interference, but a vibe and energy, if you get good at it, you can pick it up on the telephone too. You don't even need the video, but you can feel it. When rapport is absolutely detectable on Zoom, on a phone call, and then if there's more, then you can meet. But I think it's great.
Yeah, I think it's great just to get like a baseline. Like, is this acceptable? Especially, once again, back to our Lisa example, that where she's got too many suitors. If you've got that issue, you've got to narrow it down efficiently so you're not getting all dolled up for a date that's going to be not fun. And that's how you get discouraged, right? You get all dolled up to go on a date, and then it's just a total flop. And if you do that a few times a week, you're like, all right, I'm done with this. Mm-hmm. But if you just have to get on the phone, you didn't have to do any makeup, your hair, shower, all that.
Yep.
You just do a 15-minute call. It's a great way to pre-screen. And then you can, if the person seems like there could be potential, then you can hop on a date.
Plus, you're in the comfort of your own home, so you don't have the environment of a bar. There's no alcohol in the mix. I mean, it's kind of a pure experience where it's really just a collection of information. It's smart.
Yeah.
And I like to be able to see someone's background. I think, Lisa, you brought that up a few times. I think that's really important.
I agree. Like, you can see like mine, like, all right, it looks okay. Lisa's got the bookshelf. It looks very professional. Like, you get a vibe for what they're putting out there.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I had that happen before. A guy had so much stuff in the background that, I mean, he was just short of a hoarder. Now, he ended up calling me a judgmental jerk because it turned out that he was renovating his kitchen, and that was just spillover from the kitchen. But, a tip to anybody, what you choose to show somebody is who you don't know or who doesn't know you is what they see. I mean, a lot of junk in the background is junk in the background. I don't know that it's not a lifestyle. I mean, it didn't look like renovation stuff to me. So, I mean, you have to be very selective about what you choose to show. At least have clean surfaces or some sense of order, unless that's how you live. And then somebody knows, well, I live amidst clutter. Some people won't care.
Well, it's all about effort, right? Like, if this guy was really serious about dating, he would find a way to present a decent background.
Yeah.
I think that's true.
Agreed.
I know for me, when I was dating, a person's driving, like, okay, would I like them to have a nice, clean car? Yes. If I see a car with food wrappers and that's a no. And then you go to their home and it's a mess, that's a no, because I can't envision myself there. I can't put myself in that environment, so it's just not going to work. Explains why I'm still single. Uh-huh.
I like that, Jack. I always hear this. Do you guys know Arielle Ford?
No.
No.
Oh, well, she has this thing that I've adopted over the years. I think like she probably told me this like 4 years ago. And she goes, before she met her now husband, she owned a house. And she's like, well, I'm getting this ready for my husband. So she's single. She's like, I bought a lazy boy recliner and put that in the living room that she never sits in. And then she went in her fridge and she got like the beers and all the drinks that a guy would like. So then when he came over, she's like, I got your chair. Here's your beer. And he's just like, whoa, who is this lady? Like, she's making me feel so welcome within her home. So like, imagine her as a wife, like how she's going to treat him. And it's just making room and making comfort. Like I always talk about even going further, like having a drawer open for them, having room in the closet if you want someone to eventually move in.
Yep.
Having a toothbrush it's making someone feel comfortable within your space. So they know that you're putting in the effort, that you care about this and care about them.
And you have room for them from an energetic perspective as well as a spatial one. It's good information. Yep.
It sure is. I know that in past relationships, I love my clothes and I love my shoes, but when I'm with the right person, I'll take half that stuff and I'll give it away. I'll donate it just so that person has their space and we can be together.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
So we've actually gone over our time, which doesn't matter because we have our own channel. We could stay here and talk for 24 hours. So, so if you guys want to stay and hang out, we can. If you want to call it a show, we can do that too. I'll start
Whatever
with
you want. It's your show.
Lisa.
No, listen, I got nothing. My day is done. I was at the shore all weekend, and so I was a little bit behind, worked late all week and caught up. So if you have more tips for us, Mike, because I will say this, it's different to get information from a man's perspective. We haven't had that benefit. So we've heard a lot of women who have come on to say, hey, men choose women based on what they see. And no matter how gorgeous a woman is, if he doesn't find her attractive, it doesn't matter. We just stop there. We've had another one suggest that you always have to go. What was it? 3 dates, Jacalyn?
3.
Can I talk about that first thing real fast?
Sure.
Yeah.
Do you mind?
No, of course.
The information is so incomplete. I used to give that advice back in the day, and it's not going to help women. What we need to understand is, yes, men use these things. They have 25% more receptors from the brain to the eye than women do. And so they do use their eyes a lot and to make a decision. Now, a man who's just trying to have sex, he uses a 0 to 10 scale and rates a woman. And he goes, I think I deserve a 7 to have sex with, so I will go after 7 and above. Now, the man you're actually looking for, if you're looking for a relationship, he's looking for a relationship. And he gets to the mature state and a more evolved state where he doesn't do a 0 to 10. So the coaches are still right. Men do use these things. He goes to a binary state and he goes, am I attracted to this woman? Yes or no? So he just very quickly goes yes or no. So if it's a yes, then he wants to know everything about her in terms of, do they have similar interests? Do they have a vibe that works? Do they have similar personalities? Do they have similar values? So that's really what you want to look for in a man, is a guy that's in relationship mode that makes the binary yes or no, and then really wants to get to know you from a heart level, from a soul level, and really dig deep to get to know you to see if the partnership can work.
That's really fascinating. Yeah. And I think I'm actually a man based on what you just said, because that's how I work. That's how I work.
And are you a relationship man or having sex man?
I have to look at someone, and we had this conversation with some people before about the chemistry. I have to look at that person and know that I want them. It's not like I look and I go, yes or no. And I'm not going to be spending any more time. That might sound shallow, but that's just how I am.
That's not shallow. That's just preference. I find that with working with hundreds, thousands of women, it's like 5 or 10% of women just are that way. And we just have to accept it. That's 5 or 10% of the women. This is how they behave. And put that on your top 5 list. That's the thing you need. That's it. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't patronize yourself for feeling that way. That's who you are. That's what you want.
Yeah. And like I said, dealer's choice. You get to choose.
Right.
Now, for me, I have been on dates with every different shape, size, height. Doesn't matter to me. But if there's an absence of banter or easy conversation, I can lead any conversation. I don't want to all the time. So if I have to do all the doing, or if I say, listen, bud, we've been texting for a week. If I have to tell him to get on the phone, then already I'm directing too much of the communication. I think it should be, you talk about the king, queen kind of as far as communication style. And this is a person you want to spend time with. So are you going to be fighting all the time to yank words out of them? Now, okay, I get first time fumble and nerves and stuff, but there has to be some parity as far as your style and your preference, right?
Absolutely. It should be pretty easy. With the right person, it's easy. What we do, the reason our divorce rate is so high is we suck at picking. We're awful. We pick like, oh, that person's good looking. Oh, they have good job. Somewhat, we get along pretty well. Values kind of. Like we get like 80% of the way there. And we're like, well, I've been single for so long. He's pretty close. She's pretty close. I'll get married or I'll choose them. And then we break up because after a few years, we're like, that wasn't as close as it needed to be. To Lisa's point, this should be wildly easy when you're dating. There shouldn't be fighting. There shouldn't be like confusion about stuff. Like most of the stuff, 95% should just come natural. If it doesn't, you're with the wrong person.
Yep. When I had a radio show for a couple of years with a buddy of mine down in North Carolina, and my motto for the show was, if it's too much like work, it's not working. It shouldn't be like work. I mean, not to say that you're not, of course, we're willing to work on a relationship. When I say work, I mean contribute, commit to it, and get through the rough patches. But it shouldn't feel like a job that you really hate. It's supposed to be easy.
Absolutely. I mean, there's a big difference between seeing some issues on date 4, date 5, versus like you're 6 months in and you had your first little tiff. That's like, clearly there was a lot of things that were going great for 6 months. But like 4 to 5 weeks in, there's just, you're different people.
Right.
I agree. Yep.
So Lisa, I have a question for you while we have Easy Dating Coach Mike here. Any specific questions for you to help you?
I already downloaded your 36 questions, Mike, while we were on break. So I'll have to read that, and you can use me as a test. We'll follow them. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll try them, and then we'll just follow the story. We used to do that on the radio show. I joined a whole bunch of dating websites, and then we just followed my stories, which were hilarious. Because for me, I'm socially wired, and I'm comfortable with putting the tough stuff on the table early on. Like, I don't mind. I used to ask guys straight up, have you cheated? Because, I know my ex-husband cheated in a big way with a best friend of 30 some years. So that was a real kick in the teeth. And so I knew that was a real rough, raw zone for me. Even many years later, I'd say, listen, have you cheated? And one guy said, as a matter of fact, I did. I said, okay, we're done here. And he was shocked and actually very upset that I wasn't willing to give him a chance. It wasn't just the fact that he cheated. It was the way he talked about it. Yeah. I said, well, you were catting about town and your kids are in bed wondering, where's daddy? He didn't sound apologetic. But I had met others he said, listen, I just want to tell you in all fairness, my marriage broke up because I cheated. And out of respect for that rawness of that zone of yours, I want to be transparent. And I just wasn't prepared to handle it. It still bugs me because it's, the first time you cheat is the hardest, and then you know how to do it. So it's just a spot for me. But to put that stuff out on the table, so we would follow my stories, and man alive, some of them were very funny.
I have a great idea. If you're both open to it, you ready for this? What if Lisa does the 36 questions, and then we have Mike come back and do like a live coaching session on the air? How would that be? Mike's like, I get paid for this. What are you talking about?
Well, yeah, that could be fun. I'd like to, it's funny, this 36 question thing, we didn't talk about this earlier, but maybe I wasn't looking for a relationship at the time that I did it. But I do like emotional connection. I do crave that. And a number of years ago, I did the 36 questions, and both times the woman jumped me at some point before we got to question 36 and started. What?
How long did that take to get to question 36?
It takes a while because you go into stories. So one time we were like 2.5 hours in, had a glass or two of wine, been getting very intimate conversation, and all of a sudden she's ripping off my clothing. This stuff really draws people together.
Whoa.
Wow. Oh my
goodness.
So Lisa, you got to take it easy when you're doing this.
Now, Mike, not to put you on the spot, but are you in a relationship with anyone?
I am single right now.
Look at that. 3 single people on this show. I love it. So, Lisa, how do you feel about
these questions for you to ask, Mike? There's this 36 item list. Let me send it your way.
I thank you. I need it.
So funny.
What do you guys think about that? Lisa, would you do the questions and then Mike, you can coach her on the air?
Oh, on the air you want?
Yeah, right here on this platform.
Oh, man.
Wait, she's going to do them privately, or she's going to have the date on the air?
No. She's going to No, she's going to do them. This is what I was thinking. Okay. I was thinking, like, you and she are going to do the 36 questions. You as the coach, and she, instead of it being with a date. Can it work that way or not?
No. She should do it with a date.
It has to be with a date. Okay. Well, why don't we get a date on here?
That would be good.
Wow.
Lisa, let's put it out there.
What are you waiting for, girl? You have the expert here.
Oh my goodness. I have to think about one where I'd want to. All right. I'll get back to you on that note.
Okay.
I'll do the questions. Okay.
All right.
She didn't sign up for that. Look at her. Look at the facial expressions.
Look at this already. And I'm like starting to have a hot flash. My private little internal furnace is just going on fire.
You know why? Because you're so excited at the thought of meeting someone. That's what it is. You're putting it out into the universe. You're thinking, oh my gosh, I can do this. I'm working with the best and I can find my king. That's why you're getting red.
Oh, okay. Okay, so here's another question for you, Mike. Both Jacalyn and I are accomplished, strong, capable women.
Mm-hmm.
I one time installed an air conditioner, and this buddy of mine said, "Don't ever tell a man you did that." I said, "Why not?" He said, "He doesn't need to know that you can." So how do you now? I mean, I raised 3 kids on my own, put them through college. It was a lot of work. It was a big job. I'm a black belt in martial arts. Jacalyn's got yoga and all kinds of skill sets. So for a woman who is strong, is that appealing to a man? Absolutely. And I'm not talking about like he-man, she-man, get out of my way, I'll knock out your teeth kind of thing, but rather a capable, strong woman who has her ducks in a row and, life is in order. Is that appealing?
Or is it intimidating?
Yes.
So what happens is we date insecure men, right? Because that's sometimes what happens to be single. And some of the secure men are already in relationships, so we don't see them quite as often. So what happens is these insecure men feel insecure and then put you down because you have skills. And then we get reinforced like, oh, I need to downplay myself. No, that's entirely wrong. A secure man sees that you can do air conditioning, can send 3 kids to college, and he goes, whoa, you are sexy and you've got it together and I'm all about this. So that is hot. And the secure man is like, whoa, I got to try to lock this down. Like, she's legit.
Okay.
Lock down Lisa. Lock down Lisa.
Yeah.
Lock down Lisa.
So the doctor is in with lockdown Lisa.
I like that.
I do too. That's awesome.
Oh my goodness.
After the 36 questions, he's going to lock down Lisa.
Wow.
Yeah. I think we're going to have another wedding coming up somewhere in the near
Oh my goodness.
future.
I'm taking credit.
I think you should. I think you should.
Yeah, there you go.
Actually, Dr. Jacalyn and me, both.
What's that?
Dr. Jacalyn, it's her idea, so she gets some credit too.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
You guys have me married off already. I haven't even had a cocktail with the guy.
Well, but you want to be in a relationship. You want to be with someone. Yeah, I know you do. So,
but not urgent. And that's another thing. Doesn't urgency smell bad, Mike? From men and women, or desperation, I should say. Urgent is okay. Desperation is just icky, right?
Can I be honest with you, Lisa?
No. Of course you can.
All right.
Yeah.
I think you're kind of scared right now to be in a relationship. I don't think you actually want it right now.
No, you know what? Well, this is personal stuff, but I just lost all 3 of my parents in the last year and a few months. So
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was tough. And the last one was just 3 weeks ago. In fact, I was on a show with Jacalyn and I said, I haven't heard from my mother-in-law, and left the show only to find that she collapsed and had passed away. So trying to navigate the 3, I'm talking consecutive deaths and still keep life in order has been a little challenging. It's not lack of desire. It's some oppressive circumstances from the outside that are running some interference, but it's starting to settle down because, but that was hard.
Yeah. I couldn't tell what was, something was blocking. I think you need a minute to breathe and process all that. I mean, that's a lot.
It was a lot. it was a lot. So, I mean, and this last one was so recent and unplanned. Remember that, Jacalyn? I was on the show.
I do. I know.
Ooh.
I know.
Yeah.
But so you're not ready because
no, I'm interested, but I'm not like, in other words, life is okay. It's fine as it is. But I've been very candid to say, look, a few weekends in a row, I'm emptying out. I'm managing an estate now, and I'm emptying out a condo and a shore house. So the right person would understand that time is a little tight right now. It's temporary until some of this early stuff gets dealt with. But yeah, it's just a little bit fresh.
Yeah.
Mike, I want to know what you see in me. Do you think I'm interested in meeting someone?
Good question.
That's courageous, Jacalyn.
We're here with Easy Dating Coach.
So I didn't get like a direction one way or the other with you. Lisa, something came up just from talking to her that it seemed like she needed, something was blocking her from fully being available. I don't see anything blocking you. We haven't talked enough, but like it seems like you could be ready to go.
When you decide.
Yes. Well, my situation is that I left the corporate world and then I started this business, and that was in August. And so, when you start your own business, and now I think we have 9 shows this week, plus we've got a Better You, and I'm writing a book. It's like what I was talking to my brother-in-law about this. If I were to get involved with someone, it would definitely derail what I'm working on. So I feel like I want to get the book out there. I want to get these projects further along, if that makes sense.
Mm. Yeah. So both of you are preoccupied with some other things, which is great. But also, if we go back to the spaghetti, women are better at multitasking than us men. So
it's true. What about you, Mike? Are you ready to meet someone?
It's a great question. So I was engaged probably like 2.5 years ago. And so I had to do an overhaul and a reset and what the hell was I doing wrong? What did I need to work on? And I think I'm pretty close here. Like I've kind of got myself resituated. So I think I'm getting close to 100%, if not 100% available.
Who coaches you?
Wow.
I have a lot of friends, a lot of dating coach friends. Helena Hart coaches me sometimes. Another coach, Casey, coaches me. Another life coach, and I'm actually excited. I'm gonna pick up a therapist pretty soon. I've never done therapy, so I'm really trying to work on me. So I'm gonna put in the work.
I think it's good.
I think that's actually very sexy. I think that's very cool that you're working on yourself and that you're willing to let people know that. So, by the way, remember that this show is on 11 platforms. So whether people are watching now or they're watching later or it's a podcast and they're listening, Easy Dating Coach Mike Goldstein is very close to being 100% available.
And he's in LA, right?
Yeah, don't tell him where I live.
Apparently, right today.
Are you willing to relocate for the right person?
I mean, love is my top priority. So yes, that would probably be the most important.
Wow, how hot is that?
You just opened up all kinds of options, Mike.
Well, I do want to be warm though. Like you folks, I was up in New Jersey, New York City. It's cold, and now I'm here and I'm warm. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, there's something to be said about that. I mean, I moved in with my mom during the pandemic, and we're going to be together. And we were here in the winter at the Jersey Shore, where it's desolate, isolated, and it was the best winter I've ever had, I have to say.
Really?
Cool.
No, I was so I'm in Cape May last weekend, and I decided to stay a little extra and throw away chipped glasses and mugs. There must have been 50 or 70 of them. And this place is at the end, it's by the bay. It was so dark in there. I'm taking trash out at midnight. I'm thinking, this is a little intimidating. I mean, I'm talking, there's no light pollution. There wasn't even a street lamp. It is dark down there.
It's pitch black down here.
Really black.
but it's still beautiful though. Like,
oh yeah,
where I'm sitting right now, we have all these huge windows and the bays out there. So you see like the sunset, it's magnificent, and then it's pitch black. Then you don't see anything, and so
and at night, right?
Yeah, but that's what I mean. After the sunset, then it's dark, but it's still a nice place to be.
It's very peaceful.
Yes. So this has really been a lot of fun, and I think we have some chemistry, some synergy here with the three of us. So I'd love to have you back on, Mike. You could be like a monthly guest if you wanted to be. We don't have any men. We have women all the time, which I love, but it's kind of cool to have a guy.
Yeah, I'd love to be back. You guys are great. I really enjoyed this.
Thank you.
We have a good time.
And you know what we could even do? We could even have, when Mike comes back, we could have another guest, and maybe, you know, somebody who's not a dating coach, but maybe somebody who's looking for love. I don't know. Just throwing it out there.
That could be fun.
Yeah.
All righty.
All kinds of possibilities. So, okay. So I'm going to ask Mike for you to give your contact information again for people listening and watching, and the fact that you're available very soon. Make sure you give whatever.
No, don't do that. I'm available for coaching. For coaching people to fall in love. My website is easydatingcoach.com. The easy is spelled with an E and a Z. Hop on there. I've got a ton of free gifts for you too. If you click the free gift tab, ton of free stuff for you. So go enjoy. And if you want, I've got a ton of videos. If you go to my YouTube channel, Easy Dating Coach, I've got a pretty big following, and I've got a few million views and 27,000 people following. So hopefully you guys will like the videos just like they do.
That's great.
That's phenomenal. Good for you. Love that. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Lisa, any last words from you?
No, it was a pleasure to have you. And really, it's very nice to get the perspective of a gentleman, because it's a kind of a rare treat. So thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
I appreciate you guys.
Absolutely. Appreciate you too, and look forward to you coming back on. So just let us know and we'll bring you back.
Yay. Back on.
Back on. All right. Woo! Everybody have a good weekend. And I'm just going to close out the show and let people know about the shows for tomorrow. So you're welcome to stay around, but if not, I'll put you backstage, and I'll see you guys later. Thank you, Lisa. And thank you, Mike.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you, everyone, for watching our show today. It's been so much fun, and I hope that you will join us tomorrow. We've got 4 shows tomorrow. Let me just tell you what they are. So starting at 1:30, we have Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn, I Have a Story to Tell, and that's with Rich Scott. Rich will be joining us. And then we have at 3:30, Pet Psychic Amina, and that's always a fun show. She helps talk to your pets and helps you realize how you should be talking to your pets. And at 5 o'clock on Stories of Hope, Inspiration, and Overcoming Adversity, we have Alex Kaplan. He's a regular on all of our shows. He's going to be coming on to tell his incredible story. And then at 6 o'clock, we have the Variety Show with co-host Lori Mendelson and our guest welcoming back Alicia Ramcharatar. She is a chief drumming architect, and she helps us drum and calm down, and it's kind of like a team building activity. The other thing I want to share with you is that I have a new book coming out, and I am thrilled about this. I'm going to do a shameless brag and put up my cover. It's called Behind the Green Screen, How to Succeed in the Live Broadcasting Business. And this book is a combination of my own personal journey about how and why I left corporate America, and then also how I built this broadcasting platform. It's a how-to, including checklists and the people that I've worked with, everything that you would need to start your own live broadcasting platform. So look for that to be coming out soon. And the other announcement is about our platform, A Better You. A Better You are lessons from the best coaches, consultants, and trusted advisors. And under this platform, we have 3 opportunities for you. The first opportunity is to come on the show and present a 15-minute lesson. And it's a lesson that is so good that we would be able to edit it, package it with a 5-question quiz, and put it up on the second part, which is A Better You University. Better You University, it has a playlist of all of the content creators, and then you and the public, you can go and watch a little movie trailer, decide which lessons you want to watch, take the quiz, get a certification. And then the third part under A Better You is Journey to a Better You, which is our in-person event that we're doing. It looks like October of 2022. We are researching destinations, and that'll be your closest 10,000 friends, coaches, consultants, trusted advisors, and people like you who want to speak with coaches, who want to pick their brains, who want to attend the networking sessions. So I hope you'll join us for those events. We will be pre-selling them in the next couple of months. So until then, have a wonderful night. Come back and see us tomorrow. It's my birthday. Drop in, say hello, put something in the chat, put something on the comments, put something with a live-in phone call. So see you tomorrow. Take care.
My stomach issues make me want to stay home, but that's not an option. No matter how prepared I am, I still feel nervous. Enough is enough.
If this sounds familiar, the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation can offer you support and connect you with a specialist.
Don't keep your symptoms to yourself. Get help at spillyourguts.org today.